Welcome back to another Final Space philosophy video. Today, we'll be talking about the parallels between Star Wars and Final Space. Now, while Final Space parodies a number of sci-fi stories, the references to Star Wars are uncanny. So here are my personal top 5 similarities between Final Space and Star Wars. Also, this list is in no particular order. Let's begin. Number 1. Gary and Luke's robotic arms. Gary loses his arm when the Lord Commander tears it off with his mental powers.
You idiot! That's my freaking arm! You just ripped off my arm!
And Luke loses it in the iconic scene with Darth Vader.
He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
Not true. That's impossible.
What's more is that Gary and Luke lose their respective limbs the first time they meet their respective villains. Both are inexperienced and outmatched, and narrowly escape further disaster. Number 2.
The Force.
Both series feature characters that use telekinetic-like abilities to move objects and even attack people.
Please don't kill me.
Wouldn't think of it. That would be rude.
In Final Space, the Lord Commander can even be seen force choking people like Darth Vader and the Sith Lords from Star Wars.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Speaking of Sith Lords, the Lord Commander is pretty comparable to Darth Sidious or Palpatine. They appear in similar scenes and both focus on mental strength rather than physical. It's long been debated in the Star Wars community how Darth Vader was so easily able to defeat the Emperor. One such theory holds that while Palpatine was incredibly strong with the Force, he neglected physical conditioning and this left his body weak. When Darth Vader picks him up and throws him over the edge, the only thing he can do is release Force lightning bolts, and this doesn't delay his death at all. The Lord Commander, while amazingly strong with his mental powers, is physically dying.
This could have been so easy. But time and time again, you chose the harder path. The darker path. It's time for you to see that your choices have consequences.
As he's seen with a beaten and bruised body, breathing problems, and even coughs up black blood. Number 3. Quinn and Princess Leia.
The transmission we received. What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
Many of the characters in Final Space mirror those of Star Wars, and while this is not at all the only one, the similarities are strong with this one.
The heavy transport ships will leave as soon as they're loaded. Only 2 fighter escorts per ship. The energy shield can only be opened for a short time, so you'll have to stay very close to your transports.
The Infinity Guard betrayed the human race. They chose their side, and we're on the other. They will show us no mercy, so I suggest we show them none. Now let's find that bomb.
In the same way that Gary and Han Solo are inexperienced and unlikely heroes, Quinn is smart and competent like Princess Leia. She has the plan to save Earth, especially if you count future Quinn and Nightfall's intelligence. She's brilliant, she's a time traveler. Quinn and Leia are headstrong and know how to execute a plan.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage chute, flyboy!
While Gary, on the other hand, not so much.
Little or just enough?
Just go back to the ship.
However, while Quinn and Leia might think their respective men are kind of foolish, you know they love them.
I love you.
I know.
Numero 4. Mooncake and the Death Star. That's right, our chookity little friend is basically the Death Star in a pint-sized package. They don't call him the Planet Killer for nothing. One episode even describes the revenge he would take if Gary died.
Do you know what's about to happen to Gary? Every time Gary leaves the mission, the Lord Commander kills him. Something inside Mooncake snaps. Mooncake lays waste to the universe and tears open the door to final space.
Both Mooncake and the Death Star possess power enough to annihilate entire planets. Fun fact, they're also both capable of being created, as a new Death Star comes along pretty much every 2 or 3 episodes in Star Wars, and Mooncake, as we now know, is capable of being created from final space. We just have to wait and find out if there's going to be additional Mooncakes in the future. And finally, number 5, the Resistance and the Resistance. Originally called the Rebels in the first trilogy of Star Wars, the Resistance is the current group of ragtag heroes opposing the dark side in the galaxy.
It's the Resistance.
They have a knack for showing up just in the nick of time and are led by some unusual characters. Why should Final Space be any different? The Resistance steps in when Gary and Quinn are about to be executed by the Infinity Guard and saves the day. They're also led by none other than the one, the only, Tribor.
The Lord Commander infiltrated the Infinity Guard. A resistance rose up, and they needed a leader. Someone pure of spirit and incorruptible. Only one person met those criteria. Tribor.
Oh, how I've missed you. Also, as a little bonus, notice how the Infinity Guard soldiers, much like these stormtroopers from Star Wars, can never land a single shot. Anyway, that's my list. What do you guys think? Are there any striking parallels I missed from the 2 series? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, slap that like button for more Final Space content, and until next time, chookity!